One. Hello and welcome to all my friends to the 6th episode of the only Samurai Shodown podcast that we know of, No Recoil. Today we have a very special post-Evo edition of the No Recoil podcast with a new record of 5. That is 5, right? I can count. Yeah, 5. 5 total guests. Guest hosts today. Featuring none other than Maki, BBoySonicX, ThrustyZol, Healing Vision, and Ke11y. Thank you to all my friends for joining today.
Hey.
Howdy.
Pleasure to be here.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello. So before we get going, I have a few plugs to go over. The first thing is Samurai Shodown is a main game at Furia Tica 2023, San Jose, Costa Rica, as well as Lunar Bout 2023 in Brooklyn, New York. So I'll have registration links to those in the description. Those are pretty much the biggest fall tournaments for the game. So if you can make it out to those, that'd be pretty cool. And then I am now newly sponsored by Kanme Studios, which is an independent collective of content and merchandise creators. We are running a couple promos at our Ko-Fi. For every $8 donation, you get a free Tekken themed keychain, and we currently have a cross promo with dynamic focus for keychains, holographic stickers, and postcards featuring a couple characters. So I'll have links to those in the description as well. So this episode, we'll be going over none other than a little tournament you may have heard about a couple times. Just a wee little event called Evolution 2023.
I think I might have heard of it once.
Yeah, that's pretty small. They're getting big.
I saw some clip of some guy parrying something, and I was like, okay, that's okay. And then, yeah.
Diego something?
Yeah, Diego. Dingo. So,
Diego is sick.
we had this Evo was unique because we had an official SNK sponsored side tournament with major money and stream representation at a stage. And one lucky winner took home the gold, and it was me.
Whoa!
Again!
Yeah? Who would have thought?
Oh, yeah.
What a surprise. Wow.
You know what? Third place is better than first anyways, okay?
Yeah. 3 is better than 1.
What? Clickbait?
So, yeah, I think it was a pretty amazing what they did. SNK, like giving us a space, not only for Samurai Shodown, but one of the other games that they have, Garo, Mark of the Wolves. I think it is because they are working on their new game, so kind of promoting it a little bit. But it was amazing because it felt like it was kind of a main game. It was just not another side game, right?
Yeah.
At least I got that feeling. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you guys.
The setups were amazing too. Like the big monitors are, when they presented it, it was really cool.
I loved the blue. Everybody kept saying that the SNK booth was the best place to be because it was all air conditioned and like there was space and it was all nice looking.
Yeah.
That's really the only place I was the whole Evo.
Like a kind of a carpet, right, on the floor.
Yeah, it had a lot of padding.
With that. Yes.
Which made me get shocked every single time I plugged somebody's
He loves
stick
getting
in.
shocked.
Oh my
Loves
god.
It was a really cool official space. I think the main thing that came in clutch was you guys having those converters handy for some of the setups that were having controller issues.
It was kind of a unique setup. It was very interesting. It was a PC tournament.
That was interesting.
Yeah. Those were new PCs that they basically put everything on. So
actually, if you guys got to see the PCs, they were pretty nice looking.
Oh yeah,
they looked pretty.
They were hefty,
pretty sophisticated, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
They had like a glass case and it was lit up inside.
The huge, like
they
the
were
best
really
video card in it.
They were very powerful, actually.
Yeah. Why'd they have them so fancy and then not let us see them?
Yeah, because they don't want people touching them and ruining them and changing things.
In reality, I mean, if you guys asked, I could have opened the cabinet up.
Oh yeah, I would have wanted to see and take a picture, but I'm glad that most of them worked. There were just a handful of them that, for some reason,
yeah.
But the, like I said, the converters came in
general. They just aren't as easy as like a plug and play console. Consoles just changed my life. I like consoles because they're so easy that you just literally press a button, it's on, and it's already playing your game if you have quick resume.
The thing is, PCs are good if you are at home and you're set up the way you play it. You're in your underwear, whatever you wear, or maybe not. But at a public place, when you're trying to have the most sufficient stuff, it takes like having it there for a month for you to know to work out all the kinks.
But we kind of expected some kinks, and we suggested some things, and definitely we brought our converters and suggested that they get some more, which they did, and we were very happy that they did. And it ended up really helping them throughout both of those tournaments. So
yeah,
I'm very glad we actually spoke up and said something.
Yeah, we said it ahead of time. Before we got there, we're like trying to, make sure you guys have converters. And they say,
we're like, basically, this is going to make your life a lot easier.
Yes.
If you could just get a couple more of these.
Y'all really in clutch with that.
Yep.
I definitely appreciate all the pomp and circumstance of the the featured stream and everything in the dedicated space. I will say that I don't know really what it was or like what settings they had turned on or not turned on, but like I felt like, especially on the pool setups, not so much the stream, there's definitely quite a lot of input lag.
Yeah.
From what I know, I actually think that the series version has the least amount of input lag out of even out of that in the PC.
It definitely does. The PC is not running at 120.
But before we go any further, is anybody else hearing Scrub's voice cutting out slightly every once in a while, or is that just me?
I
just put the mic closer to my face.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard like a little bit of yes.
Bubba had brought up something briefly when we first tried to play, or I think it was on one particular setup. But to be real, we're playing a 120 FPS game, sometimes on 60 hertz monitors on delay-based netcode. I said from the beginning, bro, I'm not gonna be able to tell. So I don't know. I was just playing. I didn't care.
That's true.
If people felt
push
delayed,
buttons and pray.
Yeah, it felt good enough to play, so I didn't really question anything. My main concern was loss of inputs, which is again that's why later on in bracket I started like making sure I could always get a converter just to not take any chances.
Gotcha. So it'd be up to par.
That's good. I'm glad that you guys asked when you needed one, because I agree. That it helps. So
yeah.
It makes me wonder though, for future official events, will PC always be their default, or will they start having Xbox be their default? Have those questions even been brought up to them? Now you're making me curious.
Well, apparently, I think Ke11y and ThrustyZol, you guys talked about it before, but apparently they weren't really talking to you guys about like the platform and stuff, right?
Well,
no, not in the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought about it, and I didn't feel right if I didn't like say something. So I did in the end say something. There's reasons, and I get it. But there are reasons that I can't say, I guess.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
And hit nudge. I understand.
I think that there is something that we will say later on when it's time, but not really to do with that part of it, but it kind of goes over, how something about it a little bit.
If there's NDA shenanigans, you have to make sure you don't break. We understand.
Yeah. So
I mean, the cat's out the bag. You guys obviously know that all the effort that we've been putting together for this. It's crazy that we were working. We technically are official SNK.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Congrats, by the way. I forgot if I ever gave you guys
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah,
we wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you guys too, keeping the game alive, just so you guys know. It's like we do it for you. I'll say this over and over. Sam Show is the game that got me through COVID, and watching the way that you guys play the game has it reminds me of like the dedication that it takes to like compete on a professional level of like combat sports. And the game is like so close to, you have to be so focused, and like I get it, so that's how come I really like watching you guys like compete, because if I totally understand this game inside and out, risk reward, it's probably the most accurate fighting game out there, as in terms of the feeling of what you put into the risk reward. I don't know.
Samurai Shodown is absolutely hands down my favorite fighting game ever. I think everything about that game is stunning, visually, sound wise, actor wise, gameplay wise. I think they did an exceptional job with that game, and I personally think that this actual version of Samurai Shodown that we play is like
it is the best.
And I don't actually have any reason to want another game. In a perfect world, I would prefer this game, and that everybody
just adds more characters,
bought this game and played this game, and I feel like it would pick up so much traction, and it would just like I just think it would be.
Well, that's what she's trying to say too, is I don't know if we're going off track here or anything, but like I always said to myself, I would never like any Sam Show more than either part 2 or part 4. Part 2 to its simplicity in the characters, and then part 4 for the most advanced way you can play the game, like with combos and stuff, and 2 different versions of the characters. But all in all, through the years, I thought, well, the thing about Sam Show, what makes it good is it's not like you have to remember a different special move for each character, which is what they did with all the other ones. So it's not even really about, the guy who plays it the most, who remembers all the combos, is going to beat you. It's really, it could be anybody. And it's good that it has the simplicity. That way you're not sitting there pausing the game and going pull up some FAQ, like going, hey, how do I do the weapon flip again? It's that's what made it good.
The other thing that I wish
makes it good.
The only thing that I would actually like for this game would be for them to just add all the rest of the characters that everybody's been waiting for, and maybe some new stages. But other than that, that's why I'm so happy that SNK decided to put this game on I mean, I would never suggest a 40-inch monitor, but the fact that this was Evo and they had the game on 40-inch monitors and on a big screen in the center of Evo, it gives the game the attention that I always wanted the game to have.
Yeah, it definitely was a fancy setup.
And that makes me happy that they did that because the game looks amazing. So that's part of the thing that I'm very, grateful to SNK that they decided to put Samurai Shodown at Evo, like in the spotlight like that. And I was happy that it happened at a time where we all, had been doing tournaments so much that, it was all like us and our friends. We're like basically the spotlight of it. So it's
the international players coming out and everything was something cool and special, like having meeting some of the guys from Europe, and like France. Like it's crazy, to have that international level of players.
Yeah, Samurai Shodown had a lot of international players that came out. It's
the
great.
Most stacked representation that I had personally experienced ever.
Yeah, if you were gonna prove your point, you're gonna come out there. Like what it was,
Well,
I even got Colossus to try it.
What's that?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, even if it's not just the international, like there were people who showed up that was good to see, like Yoop showing up. That was cool. Face, So no, we just had quite the
Disorder
turnout.
Unit and Freakaholic and
Pink Slime.
Pink Slime. All of B-Boy's crew over there that some of them I didn't even know was part of B-Boy's crew.
It's my SinCal homies and one of them moved to SoCal.
Little Jake or something? What is his name?
Jake. He's our hometown prodigy. Pretty much anything he picks up, he's inherently good at it, and he's started playing Sam Show. Actually, he's told me he likes Sam Show more than Street Fighter 6, so I think he's gonna start focusing on it more.
It was.
That was like his third time really giving the game like a good shot. So I think he's gonna try and actually learn it more after that.
Nice.
But that was cool, seeing everyone playing together in person.
Good to see Bubba again.
So, by the way, you guys all know that we were working it, so we didn't get to watch a lot of the matches like you guys did. And we finally watched a couple of them this week. We kept going, rewatching to get through it. B-Boy, oh my goodness. I want to say that I feel like you have not the worst luck. That's not a good thing to say, but the oddest things happen at the last second. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's mainly me making very bad mistakes, but it's earned Bubba his name of Bubba the Genius, so it works out.
Oh my goodness. I think I almost cried when I watched it. I was like, oh, I can't believe that just happened to him. I wish I had seen it in person.
Which, by the way, if anyone was curious, what Bubba did to Wu on her weapon flip, if I ever do 2 beats weapon flip, that's not a Yoshi specific thing. Everyone can do that. Just make sure you delay it long enough. I can never actually 2 beat weapon flip. It's quite tragic.
That's kind of funny.
It's really not. I'm laughing, but it's really not funny.
I know. But you have to laugh to not cry.
The thing is, when Bubba does something to you, you just kind of have to, you can't get mad. You're just well, now I learned something new.
No. Bubba's my homie. And even when we play locally, part of the reason why our matches are so tense like that, because our play styles are polar opposites. In fact, even when we play locally, he will straight up tell me that playing me is so boring because he knows to beat me, he has to play patient, and that's always my goal with him, is to teach him and realize if you play Yoshi patiently, you can just sit there and you can just destroy people.
Okay, then
Yoshi
I
has
need
the
some more
tools.
one-on-one with you then, because that's why I like to play with Sorrow, is because he makes me patient. He forces me to be patient, and I hate being patient. Hate it. Just like Bubba said, it's boring. I can't stand it.
Yeah, but the moment you realize that when you can play in a more reactionary and calculated way, you can just delete people.
Yeah, it just
it
really depends on my mood. If I really, really want to win, I will try to force myself to be patient. But typically, I really just don't care about winning.
I
like just having fun.
She's always thinking about fun. I mean, I'm kind of that way too. I have a big smile on my face every time I play the game.
I'm never gonna beat you guys, so that's like a far long stretch. So I might as well just have fun and enjoy it.
You know what? Don't count that yourself that quickly, because you land so many SSMs on me whenever we play it like online. So
that does happen.
It's fun.
You more than anybody in the room will get SSMs on me like nobody else. So kudos to you for that.
Oh, speaking of SSM, sorry, can I promote my best SSM contest that I completely forgot about?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have a best SSM contest. It's open to everybody as long as you are getting an SSM against a real live opponent.
And there were a couple SSMs that landed during this Evo.
Yes, so
that was,
don't forget to submit them. If you need the link, it's on my Twitter, which is Ke11y_.
I'll have it in the description.
Oh, or that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it's pretty fun. Speaking of SSMs, I was joking with Bubba after he lost the healing vision. That like he tried the thing from On Guard. He tried the SSM, the yellow SSM for the kill.
Oh, the one where he jumped out of the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, that was a $500 SSM you did right there.
You know why he did that, right?
Twist that knife, dude.
I can see what happens.
Dang.
Are we gonna say
yeah?
Well, you know why he did that, right?
Why?
Because most of the other people that he usually plays against play characters that don't have a wall jump.
Oh, well, I mean,
he included.
Oh yeah. I guess that set was probably the second time ever he's actually played.
You know how many times he punishes my up backs by doing SSM in the corner?
Yeah, but Wu is shallow jumping buttons.
Okay, that wasn't the point that was being made there, but all right, bro.
Okay.
But yeah, that was another thing in general that we already knew that he didn't know the Hamakusa matchup. I will play Hamakusa with him more. That'll be real interesting to see.
You know what's really funny though is literally about like half an hour before we played, he was talking to me and he kind of did the whole, you may want to not stick in the corner too much. And I was like, well, I know I feel comfortable in the corner even if I'm getting beat. So like that's a conscious decision. He's kind of like, well, okay, whatever. And it's just funny that actually played to my benefit, being used to being in the corner like that.
Did you pull a save it for nationals with the wall jump mid tournament?
No, are you kidding? I wall jump all the damn time. Like that's.
Didn't I?
He just told me. No. He basically just said that I take a lot of damage when I'm in the corner, and I was like, yeah, I know I take damage in the corner, but I just kind of feel comfortable being in the corner sometimes, even if I am getting tagged. So, but yeah, it just kind of like played to my benefit that he, was used to people who don't have wall jumps, I guess, and it's always in my pocket. So.
Wild.
Yep, don't save me.
This was, like I said, this was a really wild Evo, wild year. Technically.
Oh, speaking of wild, well, the Legend SSM from, how do I forget his name?
Do we gotta pull up the bracket?
The Chaco got
Chaco,
one.
yeah,
the
legendary on SSM against Bond, the mid screen, the only thing that would have won the game for him. It's probably the highlight of the whole tournament. Everybody lost it. He did that, and I turned to Bubba. I was like, "This is the best game ever made, man."
This is the best game. Actually, were things like people clipped stuff from the stream, right? I didn't even go back to see. Like, were there any like highlight reels made of the tourney?
We are just working our way through
on that.
it.
And I did clip T'Chako's.
I feel like
thing.
I definitely clipped an SSM, but I don't remember whose it was.
I'm pulling out.
It might have been what
I have to.
Bubba's, or
Bubba got
Vision?
Bubba got
you guys both
too.
got one.
Yeah, Bubba got yeah.
Yeah, there's.
It was one of yours, then I believe. I actually didn't even go back to look, to be honest, because I was so like focused on just trying to watch. Because I never got to see the chat either, like full on. So I like to watch it afterwards.
The VOD is so long; it's taken like 3 weeks to actually go through every match.
Yeah, it was like a 9-hour tournament.
According to YouTube and having it timestamped is nice.
Yeah. Adjusting to back to normal time. I think when you spend more than 3 days or 2 days in Vegas, you kind of just don't know how to sleep anymore.
That's true, actually.
I mean, that's how I felt. It took me a whole week to adjust. Like, no lies. It was like,
honestly, even before Evo even started, on day 0, like all the picking up the badges and then socializing, I was already tired. And then after day 1, I was even more tired.
Yeah.
This tournament made me realize I'm old.
Like Anime Expo all over again. I was not ready to do anything after day 1.
What this tournament made me realize is like I had a little bit too many beers in the tub.
So Evo last year, Scrub, you weren't old. You were still young last year.
Oh, last year I was 29. Now I'm 30.
Gotcha.
So immediately, now I'm.
Dang.
That's the break point. I lost my youth.
That's the break.
Yeah, it sucked. I was a little frustrated because like I was pretty busy with kind of, I guess, extracurricular stuff like
Kotsky Blitzcomp shenanigans.
Yeah.
You were really busy, man. Like you had so many responsibilities, dude. Like,
I was gonna judge a bunch of pools, and then I only got to judge one of the 3. But then I judged a pool on Saturday. Then I immediately had to go run ABK. It took 4 hours.
Wow.
And then immediately I went to the Sam Show setups.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then by the time I played, I was like, I kind of felt bad because like by that time I was tired enough. I felt like I wasn't really playing like 100% myself. And then also I didn't get to like play everybody kind of the same way I did a combo breaker. So like just from a grinding perspective, like a crack out perspective, I didn't quite get that at this tournament. So that was a little frustrating. But like like kind of the point of Evo's a bit different. It's more about like doing and seeing things and not quite about always the game. Right.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Your voice went in and out a little.
It's more about like doing and seeing things and not just about the game itself. Or at least this one is.
Yeah, it's a trip. You see the sights, do all kinds of stuff. Play with people you don't see, socialize with people you don't usually see. Like groups coming together. It's a whole bunch of things, and you can't do everything, but you do what you can.
Yeah, I kind of like the intimacy of Frosty. That kind of vibe, it felt better to me. Evo having been my first offline tournament last Evo, and then going to Frosty this year, and then coming back to Evo this year. There's something about Frosty that just felt more.
It's more small and
we hung out the whole time, and it was fun. But at Evo, you really can't do that.
Well, we
I
were
want to
working
jump in real quick though, because one thing I was gonna say is that on some of the post Evo videos I've seen YouTubers make, they call Evo like they don't call it a tournament, they call it like a convention or a con, and I think there's like there's a lot of truth in that. That Evo has basically turned into the fighting game convention. You know, like whereas Frosty is more of a pure tournament, like the Evos of like 2008 or whatever. So it's just it's gotten so big, it just kind of happens,
Right.
That's been like
Anime Expo, but instead of the exhibit hall, it's just a bunch of actually well-ran tournaments. It's a convention.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been an observation for a long time, but like I feel like this particular year, they really leaned into the corporate event kind of vibe. If that makes any sense, like more so than last year. Like there was like lots and lots of sponsor emphasis.
Much more streamlined. This was probably the best ran Evo, I'd say. That's why this year I'm considering it the best one. I think overall it was just ran the best. Everything was just streamlined really well. The space was organized. Like honestly, like the whole space of Evo just feels massive. Even though the Street Fighter 6 area or like those mounds and crowds of people around like specific tables. Everywhere else, like it's just a massive like roadmap to navigate. It really does feel like a broad convention, but I think it was a really well organized convention. This was a great event.
And I think from this point on, it's gonna get bigger and bigger. I mean,
yeah. Street Fighter 6 pushed it over the edge, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Because like everything that wasn't SF6, or at least a lot of games that weren't SF6, they had record numbers. Like
they did.
Strive had record numbers. Marvel had record numbers.
Games had a high showing.
Especially,
also, I think people just. No, I was just gonna say people just wanted to, in a post-COVID world, so to speak, people are really just raring to get out and like strut their stuff. I think so. That definitely helped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Samurai Shodown got more numbers than last year, right?
It did.
This year was the year of like even more representation, even higher level representation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like comparing the brackets from last year to this year, you can definitely tell.
Yep. I mean, we got people from South America, people from Europe, from all over the place. I got to play with the people that to be honest, I never would have think that I had the chance to play with. Because I played with them online, but you know how it was in the PS4 era, kind of difficult to actually play. So during my bracket run, I faced what is it called? Vader from Peru.
Yep.
It's a pretty tough player. I got to play him online a while ago, but at last, I didn't know that he was in the tournament. But I faced him and I was like, finally, we get to play on an offline setup and we get to meet in person. So nice to meet you, Mr. Vader. Let's get some real good matches. And he told me,
Did you use Mr. Vader?
Yeah, and he told me, I just dust off my Charlotte just for this event, because he really went there to play KOF, and he did pretty well, I believe.
Oh, did he?
Yes. I mean, he didn't get into the finals, but he was close.
That's cool.
So yeah, he was like, yeah, I just dust off my Charlotte to see how far I can go. And I was like, good.
Yeah, Vader actually entered my Vortex Gallery online tournament, but then I think he was one of the ones that didn't realize that it wasn't on PC. So,
Ooh, I see.
yeah, but I think I recorded a couple of his matches and I put them up on my YouTube.
Well, hopefully rollback will unite us more.
Hopefully.
Yeah. In fact, well, I guess that's lucky that would be at most a month away. We may have the opportunity to play everyone that we played at Evo in a better environment more consistently.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know.
Hopefully.
Well, I know it's not going to be cross-platform, but I think a lot of people have Sam Show on multiple platforms. I know at least I'm. Well, actually, I'm a bad example because I'm just a Sam Show shill. But
Everybody here is.
well, I know at least
We all
some
have it
people
on
have
every
it on
platform.
PC and one console at least. So we should all be able to play with a decent amount of the crowd, right?
Yeah.
We over here we have it on everything. We have it except for Netflix. We don't have the Netflix version yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm missing the
don't plan
Netflix
on-
and Switch version.
We have the Switch version. I played that one the other day.
Dang.
We have the PC version. We have the PlayStation 4.
We have it on the
PlayStation
PC
5,
everywhere, like the
the
Steam
Xbox
and
One,
the,
and
Oh,
the
yeah.
Xbox
the
Series.
Epic.
Steam Epic.
Yeah.
I
We are
remember
real
Stadia.
Oh god, Stadia.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, I forgot. I didn't get the Stadia version. Okay, never mind. I'm a fake fan.
You missed your chance.
We tagged. So just a funny story about Stadia. So a friend and I, we used the Stadia role in the Discord, the main Discord, as a joke, and some guy actually responded, and he said, "Well, yeah, I own it, but like I've never been able to actually play an online game before." So theoretically, no one has ever actually played a match of the Stadia version Sam Show.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
I don't know what possesses SNK to come up with these things, but
SNK.
I'm sure that was
Yeah.
money had it. It had to
I'm
be.
sure it was Google was like, hey, you know what? We can make you some money.
Sorry. I'm telling you, I think SNK just like here's someone offering money, and they're like, "Ooh, sure, why not?"
oh, whoa,
Yeah.
what's this?
Let's put it in a cereal box.
Hey, I'd buy Samurai Shodown cereal.
I would too.
I would too because I like
Are you-
every single cereal.
Are you
ever
talking
made.
about the Haumaruos?
Halmeros.
Will it pay for Wu and Iroha to get 2 more colors in the game? Then yes, please.
I just think about the how the commercial could be about that cereal. Like, yeah,
could see
have
it.
your Haumaros. Yeah.
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 SNK could be making so much
Yeah.
easy money from the most basic
Yeah.
things, and I think they genuinely don't realize that.
I think my thing is I feel like maybe there's been some like language barrier that is the reason why they do some of the stuff that they do. That's my thoughts. Clearly there probably shouldn't be, but that's
See,
just
maybe
the
we
way I
need to
go.
get
Yeah. Also, I think
Kaiser or someone.
it's
yeah.
cultural, right?
Hmm.
Some of the decisions that they
Cultural?
make, cultural.
Well, I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but there were rumors that the reason why it took so long to go to Steam was because what's it called EGS
Epic
supposedly
Games
gave them
contract, right? Minimum of a year.
That's what they do
that's
for
what-
every deal like that. Is
Yeah, I
EGS
think
with what?
standard. When something is on EGS for like a year or so, like it has to be there, and then it can go on Steam. I think.
Oh.
There's a
They
contract.
got a bunch of money up front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But sorry, this is gonna be a whole side rant. But I mean, like in general, and not even just with Sam Show, but just everything SNK has done since their quote unquote revival. Like even just the most basic things of like cosmetic DLC. These are like basic things that people have, like, it's established that people like these things. They will pay money for these things. Make these things. You will get free money. And it's not even like bad things to make. Just do it. And
When
don't
Zol
understand.
told me that players will buy costumes like in packs and colors and stuff like that, I thought he was totally joking. This was years ago, like a couple years ago. And then I heard somebody say on a stream that they spent like $1,000 on costumes or something and didn't realize it. And I'm like, okay.
No, it's got to be
You
dead
know
or
how many
alive.
people in
Yeah,
Street Fighter V tried to meme and complain, oh, Chun-Li, she gets way too many costumes. And those same people bought all of the, I don't know how many DLC costumes that Chun and the other waifus got. People pay for these. I pay for some of this things. You know how easily money would fly to my wallet if you gave me Wu and Iroha DLC?
Wow. Those are, I'm the type
Those
of
are the only
person
two
that I'm
that
like,
get
that's just
costumes.
cosmetic. I'm not gonna buy that kind of stuff. It doesn't
Yeah,
do
well,
me any good.
it depends on, like, obviously what you want and what you, like, intend to use, because cosmetic things, usually you just like them for XYZ reasons or for your specific characters. And then there's, like, obviously, of course, character DLC where you want those characters themselves. Which SNK, they did the DLC seasons. They're pretty good seasons overall. I don't want to go on too many tangents unless that'll be another point of conversation. But I know you guys mentioned wanting even more characters. I was in the ballpark where I actually liked what they did so far, and they were mostly following the current lore of their reboot, and not like trying to skip too far ahead yet. I kind of liked where they stayed at right now for the context of this part of the story. But I mean, if they were to do a sequel, they already have paved the way for that.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what their intentions are. They didn't add more than 4 colors per
The
character.
weird thing is
No,
that they
Nako-
added Nako's purple and her angry face, so I totally thought they were going to do something with that.
Yep.
Because it was totally random. Like, they took out her green, and then they gave her purple all of a sudden, random.
That's
And
why
then they
I
never
don't
do anything.
I don't understand SNK's intentions ever. Like, I don't even mean that like as an like offensively. I'm genuinely perplexed sometimes.
Yes, I was perplexed too. And then if you play the game King of Fighters 15, they do this little story if you finish Team Samurai. And I'm like, wait, what does this mean? What does this mean for future stuff?
Yep.
I don't know if anybody saw it, so I don't want to
Yeah.
ruin anything, but
Yeah, I saw it.
I
Yeah.
didn't see it. I don't mind if you tell what it is.
Should we give a spoiler warning, or should we just not?
For an arcade mode ending, I don't think it matters.
There are people that care about fighting game stories, me included.
Well, I don't care about them, and it's my podcast, so.
Well, you can put a spoiler thingy in your video.
That sounds like a lot of effort. I don't know. I'm not good
I will
at
edit it for you. Anyways, Kelly, go ahead.
I don't want to tell the story. Maki can tell it.
I don't know if I should tell it like it is. Well, you know what the Team Samurai is, right? For King of Fighters 15 is Haomaru, Nakoruru, and Darlie, right? So they travel through time and go to the future to chase down little certain someone. I would say it's a boss character. It's not Amakusa. It's not in this Samurai Shodown game. It's from another game, and that's basically it. They end up capturing that certain boss and then they start, before going back in time, they enjoy the present. They go and get some coffee and live their lives just for a little bit before coming back to the past. And that's basically, yeah, that's basically it.
I need to see Darlie in modern day clothes in a coffee shop.
It's interesting.
Sorry, but now you're making me trying to think of what other boss characters that would be, but I guess that's unintentionally spoiling myself.
Krauser.
Wait, Bowser?
I said Krauser, but no. Although Bowser would be cool too.
Thank you, Maki, though, if you were trying to keep that vague for viewers.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good for people to play the game and figure out themselves, or there's always YouTube where you see people that do that like day one or day -1. They already have the footage of the arcade ending. I don't know how they do that, but they always do. But yeah, I mean, there's another thing. If you remember, there was like 2 characters in the Japanese version that got alternate costumes, which was Genjuro and Shiki.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
a couple friends have it.
Yeah, and people always is like, oh man, the first time I saw that, I think I saw it for Genjuro. This alternate costume, I was like, how can I get that? Sadly, I couldn't get it. Yes, because it looked like amazing, so different from what he actually is. So it was like, where can I get this? And I figured out I couldn't get it. So it was like, oh, so that was
there are
a
ways.
shame.
Yeah, there's an account exploit on Xbox or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my friend on Xbox has it.
Well, that would be, as we were saying, easy money for SNK if they release those type of content.
Costumes, yeah.
Yeah, it would be like, yeah, everyone is gonna buy it. I don't know why they restricted it to be Japan only, but I don't know. I just don't understand.
I don't know if SNK even understands.
They definitely play things by the book, such as they're trying not to. There's definitely a language barrier, so
I still consider SNK a very boomer. They operate like a very boomer company still.
Yeah,
they're not fully like jumping into the modern era yet. Like Ke11y, they adapted some things well. They're doing some of the new stuff, but I don't know. They feel like a revived zombie, not like entirely.
Okay. You know, I do want to pipe up on that real quick, because while I don't think you're inherently wrong, I think because of the boomer business mentality is kind of what made Samurai Shodown as beautiful as it was. Like, where the, I guess, simplification of the mechanics, because I mean, if you go to 5 special, there's all kinds of things going on. Like, you know, you can meditate and you can burst, but then there's the other burst, and like it just got super complicated. But like I think the old school mentality kind of made at least Samurai Shodown as good as it did in its own weird way. Sure, they could have added more costumes and, like, you know, colors, but everything else I would give a thumbs up on, honestly.
Well, the simplicity, I think, is what they achieved is the reverse. That's more of modernized, making things more intuitive. That was the thing that they did like well with Samurai Spirits. Is yes, there's some things that people have asked that they should add to this Sam show. Like, oh, they should add these old mechanics. but that was part of the cool thing that they did with this Sam Show was Sam Show. I have it up there in like the reigns of Dragon Ball Fighters and Grand Blue of being like some of the most like intuitive and easy to hop into games, like just period. Out like ever. That I think they really did do really well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because Zol has me, sometimes trying to play those older ones, and I'm like, there is way too many options that I don't know anything about, and it's just confusing, and it makes me not even want to try. It's like you got to have like a lot of time to sit there and figure things out. Whereas this game is, you just pick it up and play.
I feel like Sam Show is the answer to the question developers have had for years about how to make a game accessible.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they've like they kept trying weird solutions that have like kind of worked and not really worked, like auto combos and modern controls.
Yeah.
But if you just make the game intuitive, uncomplicated, and interesting while still making it fun, that's kind of all it really takes. And I feel like this game really proved it.
It did, because it worked on me, because I hated fighting games. I never wanted to play a fighting game in my life. I hated them.
It's because of Athena's Psycho Ball.
Well, I didn't like Mortal Kombat because it was gross, and Street Fighter was just so like boxy, and I don't like punch and kick games. So like the whole aspect of the weapon also helps. But
You like the clinging.
Go ahead.
So she likes the clinging of the blades.
Oh,
I mean, I do too.
You feel like you're hitting something, like for real. Like I hate, even with King of Fighters, like the noise that they make when a character hits or blocks. It's just not. It doesn't get me feeling like I'm really there, like something's really happening. It just feels and sounds fake.
You're like, that's what you get.
There's impact.
Yeah.
In fact, Sam Show does a great job of making you feel impact and making you feel like the consequences for your actions, unless you play Viking.
And that's why everybody's always saying the hardest.
It's all digs all the time. apparently, if you pick Viking, the trophies float into your lap. Yeah, well, the money falls from the sky.
From her actions. And with what you guys said, I mostly agree. Although, the one thing that some people always try to tell me about Sam's Show, it doesn't have combos. Because there are people in the world that, yes, a part of their fun with fighting games is the execution. They are combo fiends. They are lab rats. So yes, if you're a combo fiend, unless you play Kazuki, Sam Show, I guess, isn't the game for you. Well, Kazuki or Baiken. Actually, yeah, Kazuki or Baiken. If you don't want like those characters, then yes, I guess Sam Show is lacking. But as a handful of people in my scene that don't need combos to have fun, they very quickly grew to like Sam Show. Because the fundamentals apply. And things have impact. And you don't have to sit there and lab combos for 20 characters. And you can actually play multiple characters and not be punished for it. It's great.
Yeah.
I feel like every form of like self-improvement in Sam Show, it's like a process of the mind. Like I always feel, it feels like all of my improvement or like all the problem solving is like a logic based kind of thing. And I just, that's the part of, I've never really liked, to be honest, I'm really bad at like the kind of the frame trapping and like block string aspect of fighting games, like the kind of the layered pressure and stuff.
Yeah, you drive me nuts when I ask you why you did something and you don't know the frame data for something.
Hate
Wait, me specifically? I know my frame data pretty well.
Bro, I've asked you questions and you were like, I don't know.
What do you? Okay, well.
Wait, B-Boy, are you that guy who will ask, why did you do that?
Me, depending on the situation, yes. Or if I want to know the numbers for situations and then you can't tell me the numbers or you can't tell me the reason when I'm trying to figure out my answer to the thing that you don't even know why you did it, then that just makes the problem solving all the more harder. That drives me nuts.
Oh yeah, I
but then at
remember.
that point, isn't that
B-Boy's
just
a note
intuition?
taker. B-Boy
Yeah,
takes
no,
notes.
I get that.
Oh, I take a lot of notes.
Oh yeah, I remember last Evo when we were playing B-Boy that I reacted with Ethan to your startup of the overhead from Woo, and you asked me, "Did you really react to that?" And I was like, "Yes, it's just one button."
Yo, Maki blew my freaking mind. Oh, that was amazing.
So on this topic, I don't know how much you guys feel like revealing since you guys are the ones that actually did compete and I didn't. But how if you're comfortable talking about it, how did you guys each prepare for this tournament, knowing it would be on a PC and knowing it was going to be for $5,000 or whatever it was, 3,000 for the, $5,000, for first, second, third.
Well, I actually had like. So I had a
very
list.
Little time to prepare, I know.
That was part of it. Was that like I think none of us even knew this event was really happening, so it was kind of like a pretty weird situation, right? I think for a lot of people it was kind of just like kind of show up and get her done, and just for me, there's some like sort of meta concepts around the time of Combo Breaker that I kind of thought about that I've been meaning to like put into practice.
With biking or just in general?
Well, with biking and just like general meta things like aggro bursting to carry rage advantage against rage positive characters. Like I think a lot about like how to play the Eason game.
Yes, I definitely know you work on that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking against like, I feel like the way to counteract bursts is to force around 2 bursts.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so they don't have it for third round?
Yeah, and then if you are the better player at that point, if you go into round 3 and you are the better player and both players don't have rage because you made them use it in round 2, then you have an advantage, and that's the way to counter Easton standoff. I've been meaning to like apply things like that, and I've been meaning to like apply like intentional guard crush proc to counteract burst and stuff, but like I kind of haven't been able to put those things into practice just because I haven't been able to play that much or as much as I wanted to, just because there wasn't that many people playing and since Combo Breaker, and especially since SF6. It's been pretty hard to play. Like there hasn't been as many people playing. And also I had this weird thing where it was like it was pretty laggy with people since Combo Breaker for a long time. So I had a whole bunch of, I had like a 3-week period where for personal reasons I couldn't play. And then SF6 came out.
Yep.
And I was trying to play that a bit and I wasn't playing as much. And then it was laggy. And then I was also doing a whole bunch of planning for like judging and getting my travel plans in order and also running ABK. So I actually was kind of just like going through the motions, so to speak. But it's kind of like a skill in itself to not be prepared. It's a skill in itself to adapt to the fact that you can't prepare for everything.
Yeah.
Like, actually, the most specific thing was Tao's Maruru. So I've actually been meaning to, like, I've always had trouble dealing with Rimu platforms, and I've been meaning to like load up training mode and actually sort out how to deal with them for a long time, but like I've never got around to it just because there isn't really a dedicated Rimu. Like obviously my biggest like obstacle people on Xbox are like Maki, Sorrow, and Cypher, and it's like when would Rimu be relevant? And then like when it comes down to Tao, I kind of just didn't assume Rimu would be on the table. Like, I know at Frosty's it kind of was, but like of all the things to think about, I just was mostly preparing under the assumption that it would be Galford, and he's mostly stuck with that. And it's just like I kind of in grand finals I ran into this situation where it was like, I know I could have been more prepared for this if I like because Combo Breaker I was super thorough. Like, I trained every single matchup. I played every single person that I could for at least an hour a piece to try to prep for the matchups. I felt very complete, and in this event I kind of wasn't complete, and that was a little frustrating. So I kind of just had to play tournament meta, which is what I did with the counter picks and stuff, and it kind of just worked out, right?
Yeah, one of the things that I had questioned was if you had chosen Gong Sung Lee so that he would have to keep her if he won that match. And I don't know, I remember you said that wasn't your plot or your whatever, what is the word I'm looking for?
Intent.
Yeah, intent. But I was like, oh my goodness, did he do that? And I was rewatching it, and I noticed that a couple people in the chat thought the same thing.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really that giga-brained. Like, what actually happened was I was just like, I've been meaning to break out the Pocket GSL for a while, or like apply her, because I think she's kind of also a bit of a messed up character. It's just that I haven't really put as much practice in. But like, one thing is that I knew I didn't want to spend games doing guesswork about like dealing with the platform and stuff. And I know with GSL I can just throw up an umbrella and it beats platform. So I just felt like using that to my advantage. And then what happened was I just forgot that Tao has a GSL. So I just didn't think about that possibility, and he went there. I was like, oh, I've made a big mistake now.
What about? Oh, sorry.
No, you can go.
No, go ahead.
Well, it sort of just worked out on its own way because it convinced him to switch. Right. I guess that's the caveat of trying to counterpick with a mid-tier, is that a mid-tier always has like counters, right? And it is pretty easy to counter Rimu, which leads back to people picking top tiers, which leads to people picking Baiken, and I feel like that's where the meta is going. I've already heard like murmurs about other players resorting to picking Baiken, and it's like, if that's the meta, then that's the meta. I don't have an issue with that. So I think I'm glad that, or proud of, that I showed how the meta is going on stage.
I ain't switching.
Okay.
So what about you guys, the other players in here? B-Boy, Healing, Maki?
He said no.
What was your plan going in? Any plans? No plans?
I didn't have any specific plans. Like I did a little bit of the same thing I did for Combo Breaker, where there were certain weaknesses that I knew that I had, and I tried to kind of work them out. One thing I really hate is Darlie when she can do the side switch surf. Like when she's in rage. So I focused really strongly for Combo Breaker in case I ran into a Darlie about being able to block or just defend the last one on the side switch. So, I mean, other than little tiny things like that, I really didn't have any specific ideas or game plans. I was just kind of like, well, just go do my best and see how far I can get. So,
Yeah, it was interesting to see actually the array of characters used here, because there were a lot of different characters that were used in Evo that just I just wasn't expecting to see, I guess, even like I kind of get that far, but they did. So it was nice to see some of them.
Was there any character that really didn't get any representation?
They say like
I feel like I didn't see a Warden. I didn't see.
I didn't see a Basara.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought someone played Basara at some point, but I forgot if it was in friendlies or if it was someone early.
Did Musketeer play Basara at all?
Musketeer played. Wait, did
Musketeer
put out Kyo and Charlotte, right?
Oh.
I forgot if he played Cham Cham at all this tourney. And I forgot who was all even there that played Warden. My homie Allstate Man, I think he brought out Warden for one match, but I forgot who he said it was against. Because he plays Warden and Shiki. Actually, Warden, Shiki, Darlie. But yeah, aside from that, I don't know who else would have played Warden.
I saw a lot of Shikis, a lot of Charlottes, a lot of Darlies.
Honestly, this tourney had... Because last year...
Amongst us, actually.
Yes, a lot of
I noticed that.
Yeah, there were multiples. This year was more biking than I expected, honestly.
Because of Sarah? Or in general?
I joked with Violent King that I was inspiring the masses.
Well, to some extent, because I thought it was going to be a repeat of last year where the majority of bracket was Jubeis and Nakarurus. That did not happen this year. This year was
me and MM didn't enter. Well, Wero usually plays with Nako, doesn't he? I didn't see who he played with.
No, he usually plays with Charlotte.
Oh,
I think he's best. But yeah, he played with several characters, but usually plays better with Charlotte. He tried Iroha, he tried Nako. So yeah.
B-Boy, did you use Iroha at all?
Nope.
You didn't, okay.
I
totally thought you were gonna bring Iroha out at Evo. Because you were practicing a lot with her, and I really thought you were.
I don't know if I'd feel like doing the whole nerdy spiel right now.
Okay.
I'll let you guys finish.
I think we kind of just finished.
Oh, okay. Because when Scrub posted the whole these are the notable players going to Evo list, I looked at that list. I tried to the best idea possible of who everyone was going to play. In fact, I might still have that saved somewhere. And some of you have seen on my stream that I have giant Google Docs of strategies and punishes for every character in the game. And so from Scrub's list, those were the matchups that I was going to focus on updating my notes, practicing punishes, and trying to solidify decisions on who I would stick with Wu for, who I really should play Iroha for, and who I would honestly start playing Shiki for. Because people have disagreed, but there's some matchups where I still think Shiki does it better than Wu and Iroha. And Shiki's my OG main anyway. I like playing all three of them.
Oh.
So that's why, in fact, hopefully you guys have never questioned it at all, but that's why in lobbies, Thrusty and Ke11y, you two specifically, I play Shiki against you two a lot. You two are those two matchups where I'd rather play Shiki. So now you know. So I was working on those matchups, and honestly, that mainly came up once the announcement happened. Because at first I was gonna go to Evo just to chill, but Sam Show being announced, that changed my focus entirely. But once the day came for Evo, and I was seeing the different people there, and I was playing through bracket, there were names I didn't recognize. Did not expect to face another Baiken so early. Made bad decisions. But with the other matchups that I was playing, I just kind of got into Wu simping zone. And was just playing her a lot and getting my punishes down. Because that's the thing about Wu, and I'll probably revisit this in a future matchup, like tier listing, because it might be time to do those again. The thing about Wu is that, some of her matchups suck, but it's kind of like playing a grappler. People always want to downplay a grappler. Oh, I gotta struggle so much. Let me get in, let me hit you, and then I touch you and you die. Wu is kind of like that, actually, for some matchups, where all I have to do is really just outsmart you twice, and I can just delete you.
Yeah.
And you lose that aspect with Iroha and Shiki. Whereas Iroha and Shiki, they have way better neutral, and they can mixturize you to death. But I have to do it I have to do that like 20 times, and I have to constantly be looking out for reversals, have my timings right. Make sure you don't wake up SSM me, because by the way, you guys can SSM Iroha's mix unless I commit to like her 60, the 2 hits of her kick. If I interrupt that kick, you can just SSM me. So that's why when I do Iroha, see, these are all the like nerdy things that I have to like constantly be thinking about. Whereas with Wu, it's also a lot of nerdy conditioning and like strategy and stuff. But Wu is very explosive, and so when playing these matchups at Evo, I was kind of like already in that zone. That's why with Bubba, I know how Bubba is, I know how he plays, and if I don't get Bubba to like sit and chill, I can just delete him, because he'll just throw himself at me and get himself killed. That's literally what happened the first match. That's why I looked at him like that. Because like he does this all the time. But I I wasn't ready to. I literally, in fact, that's part of why I was like not in such a great mood for the rest of the day. Was I could take a screenshot. I literally had it in my notes. Don't do 2v to weapon flip.
Oh.
They can burst and Eason. Don't do it. And I freaking autopiloted and I did it anyway. So that was just me being dumb, and I guess you can account that to tournament nerves, because I guess I just wasn't ready.
That was another question I had, was if you had tournament nerves at all or not.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe if you took it a little less serious because you play Bubba more than other people, but I really don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I mean, I would have preferred to not be eliminated by him at Evo again.
Oh, he did it last year too?
So yeah, there was that writing on that too.
Oh.
But part of my hesitation prior to that, that's why I was sitting at the character select screen, was with Iroha, I could lame him out and try to be more patient and calculated with it, but I have to be really careful and not make any mistakes. And I guess that's where the tournament nerves kick in, is I was hesitant to do that. So next time, I'll just have to see what to do. I have decisions to make. There's my nerdy spiel. I have decisions to make on whether or not to rely on outsmarting y'all and just blowing you up with woo, or just having an easier time in neutral and making you guess 20 times. We shall see. Or I'll just pick Biken.
That is a valid option. It's served me pretty well.
I don't know. I think Hibiki is more of a menace than Biken, but I don't want to get into that.
Don't tell Sarah you said that. Or
Hibiki is a mid-range distance demon, in the words of Sakurai. But the thing that I've said about Biken is that she's just playing Rev 2 without an air dash. And
I don't
the
really
more
know what means, but
wait, what?
I don't know what Rev 2 means, but
sorry.
I just feel like Hibiki is just so strong. Like, she could hit you twice and you're dead.
Yeah, Hibiki also is very explosive. Has some of the best frame data in the game. In fact, actually, Hibiki and Nakaruru are two characters that, in theory, no one should actually be able to recoil against, because they have the frame data to punish any recoil. It's actually insane. And Hibiki just has nutty damage, a really weirdly good anti-air. Why does that work? I don't know. But the thing with Biken, when I say she's just Rev 2 Biken, that iteration of Biken is from Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2, the version before Strive. She is literally all of her same special moves.
Oh my god, this shit again.
Am I wrong?
I mean, Guilty Rev 2 is not Sam Show.
Does she have the same special moves, yes or no?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything inherently.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Now that is just slander. She has her mace, a non-deflectable poke, very good pokes, mind you. She has guard point stance, guard point command dash. Kabari is a long range. I don't even know what you would. Would that count as a hit grab? What's the term for moves that vacuum but also have a follow up?
I don't really know.
I don't know if that counts as a hit grab. I guess that actually is technically a Rekka. It's a long range
Rekka. Yeah.
It's a long range Rekka. Kabari, actually, no matter what game, Kabari is a good move. Actually, she has an anti-air Kabari that she can use follow-ups on whiff, which, by the way, you need to use that more against Iroha.
Oh.
She has all of these tools in the context of a game like Sam Show. And on top of that, which is what me and Saro said before, is that Biken doesn't even need to do all of this stuff, because Biken on a basic level is incredibly privileged and also hits hard. Biken's just very good.
So
and the more I
support the ban.
But no, bro, did you read my? Did you even read what I posted?
I don't know.
Basically, we're at a point right now where the privilege of Biken is undeniable. You can downplay all you want. I don't care. the proof is in the pudding. The privilege is undeniable, but a ban would only really be worth discussing if an actual quote-unquote meta were to develop. We see what happens when actual ban-worthy metas develop, when something is genuinely game-breaking, or when something is meta-defining and everyone goes to that thing. When Professor Mommy 21 came out in Dragon Ball FighterZ, everyone went to that character, and she was banned immediately, mainly because she made the game quote-unquote boring. Because this very good character, and then a damage debuff that extended a long game to be even longer. No one liked that. So she got banned until she was nerfed. Even now, well, it's mainly only happened in Japan, but old Melty, current code, got to the point where there was even finally discussion for that game to have its top tiers, a list of top tiers where players finally started thinking, okay, we're all kind of playing the same 6 characters for I don't know how long. Should we ban these 6 characters? I don't know where those discussions went, but that's the point that I'm making, is that's usually where like ban-worthy discussion starts to happen, is where something is actually meta-defining. Baiken isn't to that point yet, unless we make that happen. And for someone like me, that depends on where my curiosity goes. Whether or not I will explore Baiken to that extent. We will see.
Okay, and Maki, did you have anything to say about your training for Evo? Or
yes.
thoughts going in?
I can talk a little bit about that. I mean, I never considered myself a talented player for fighting games, because I always struggle with little things like execution, like decision making. Yes.
Have the reactions.
I feel like every comment that I hear about Maki is perfect execution. He never misses.
This man hit confirms better than any Jubei ever, and will react to you walking forward. Why are you lying to people, Maki?
Well, no, I'm not lying. That is a fruit of years of training and developing techniques to make things easier. I mean, I know people that it seems to me that they pick up a game and they all of a sudden are pretty good at it.
Oh, you mean literal talent? Oh, okay.
Yes, talent, like not hard work. I'm not
natural talent.
Yeah, natural talent.
You work hard for what you get.
I always try to get the gadget that will help me the most to execute better. I will always look for techniques to make my life easier.
Right.
Train certain things that I know that if I perfect those things, my gameplay will be better, right? Train the reactions, train things like that, but very specific situations. So it's all a matter of train every day to try to cover those things that I lack. It's not like other players, like they have natural talent to figure out a game right away and know how it's gonna be. For me, it takes quite a long time to actually get into that point on a game. But what I always tend to do more than and at this point is try to come up with strategies, new strategies, better strategies. How can I improve this method of winning, that method of winning? Would this decision be wise? Would this can this method be applied to this specific character? So I mostly did a lot of strategizing, and I finally came up, and this was the very Thursday night before the tournament. An epiphany came to me, and what I needed to do to actually beat Viking more consistently, but I couldn't test that in the tournament.
Oh.
It was too bad because my path didn't encounter scrub. So, but I mean, it always has been like that. The more I think of strategies, the more I can improve. Because not all the time I get to the point of figuring out the strategy. There are several strategies that really are not worth it, but unless I can test it, I will stay with that. And as soon as I test those and see that they are not working, I start like reasoning backwards and see, well, why didn't work? Why did I think it would work in the first place, and why it didn't? And then I start branching out and see other possibilities and other strategies that I can use. So obviously there's the frame and the tech and the labbing stuff, but I think by now I pretty much got that down for I would say 99% of the characters. So I also practice things versus Amakusa, because by seeing the bracket, I knew that at some point I would probably face healing. So I was prepared for that as well. Unfortunately, neither of those scenarios happened, so that was too bad. But I was prepared. I would say the only thing when I lost versus Neil, it was because of one decision that I made. I wanted to go for the most damaging combo in one situation, but I was too far and ended up doing the DP after 2B too far, and Neil blocked that and SSM me. And I was like, oh no. But I should have went for a more simple combo with standing B and then DP, and that would have worked. And yeah, it was just a bad decision making at that point, because I didn't really need the extra damage for that matchup. But yeah, it was the end of my tournament run. But
Were you nervous?
No, not at all. No, I mean, those nerves. I think those nerves with I mean, I've been doing this for more than 10 years now, like going into tournaments and stuff like that. I think that those nerves, if they are there, I don't really notice them anymore. So for me, it's like, no, I wasn't nervous, but maybe I was, but I just really don't pay attention to that anymore.
Right.
So
mistakes kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like that. I was prepared, and I was able to test the general strategy versus other opponents that usually give me trouble, and I was able to come out on top. One of them was Sinister.
Yeah.
The other one was and I won pretty convincingly.
Yeah, I recorded that one.
The other one was Vader, because usually he gave me trouble during the PS4 era, but
I think
also
I recorded that one too. Maybe.
Oh, good. And the other players that I played, I got to play Light Eyes as well, and
Oh, good.
who was the other one? Oh, even Viet Lu. I got to play him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see those two because that must have been in top 32.
Yeah, I think so.
Lu should have a handful of videos that he recorded or his matches also on his channel.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. I checked.
All right. So
I
yeah,
put some on mine too.
that was basically my type of training for this event, and I'll keep doing that for Samurai. I mean, I've been also playing, as you know, Street Fighter 6, but I kind of found out something that helps me to get better in multiple games is to play another game and then come back to the, let's say, Samurai, and then I start seeing things that I do in Street Fighter and kind of try to see if they apply, and sometimes they do, and convert things from one game to another. That actually has been helping me a lot. And the same thing happens for Street Fighter 6. There are things that I do in Samurai that I start applying in Street Fighter 6, and they are working. So other things they don't work.
I saw your matches the other day on that Capcom thing. That was good. You're doing good.
Oh yeah, I mean I mean I didn't play Street Fighter 5 as much, but Street Fighter 4. Because this result for the Capcom Pro Tour has been the best result that I have had for the longest time on the Street Fighter series. So I guess it's working. I mean,
that's good.
It's good.
Yeah, you made top 16.
Top 16, yes.
And you got the fundies, if anything.
You just about made top 8. You were very close.
Yeah, the really sad part is that I got knocked out to losers because of it was not a really good connection.
Oh.
So that was unfortunate.
Too bad they can't have a Sam Show connection.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's because it's region locked, and we get to play with Central America. Some of them, the connection between Mexico and the countries over there is not great. It's not good. Sometimes it's just plain bad. And yeah, it was just unfortunate that I faced that player, knocked me into losers, and then I play all Mexico players and no connection issues, and then I made it to top 16, and I was like, oh, well, it was just bad luck. I mean, there's not much that I could do about that, but yes. But yeah, that's basically, in summary, what I did for Evo, which I think, seeing it retrospective, I think I did a pretty amazing losers run. If you see the names, because I didn't realize just after the tournament I saw my bracket run, and I was like, wow, I literally faced a lot of good players and players that had beat me before, and I came out on top.
Evo or the Capcom thing?
No, Evo.
Evo.
Yeah,
Okay.
I noticed that you also had to go against Violent Kane for Sam Show this time around.
Yes. That was a match too. Actually, that was for top 8, to qualify for top 8. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I don't really remember that one as well, because there was something going on with Violence controller.
Yeah.
So he was not in the best of moods, right? So, yeah.
That's mental damage.
Yeah.
You just use that to your advantage.
Yeah, he was already, to be honest, he was already not playing at his best when he was facing me because he was mad because his controller malfunctioned during his King of Fighters run.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's more of a King of Fighters player.
Yeah,
right?
he wasn't really focused.
Yes. So, yeah, unfortunately, he was even, to tell you the truth, he was trying to do fireballs with Haomaru, but he was not getting those out, and it was because of the controller. And I was like, oh, well, that's a shame, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of controller issues at Evo, not like just because of the PS5s and the melting USBs and melting this and breaking this. I kind of assumed that going into Evo with them deciding to do a large scale tournament on a brand new console that they haven't used in that capacity. But so I was expecting it.
She kept telling me that I was so you know how they announced that it was going to be on Steam so far in the game. It also pointed out the fact that if they did actually use, well, that game doesn't use the 5 capacity or whatnot. So you could technically run that on the pros, but because there was no next gen version unless it was the series.
Which game are you talking about?
I'm talking about Sam Show in general.
Okay. I was just talking about.
So you were telling me but you were telling me from the start, if for some weird reason they ended up having the game on the series. I mean, not on the series, on the PlayStation. So it's a random thing. If they happened to have like the 120 version, if it was magically there, I think it would have failed.
Well,
because of the controller stuff, and they haven't yet done it yet. If that was some random thing that was going to happen, if they were holding it back.
That wasn't even an idea that I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, but
he just woke up from a little mini nap. I think he's a little out of it.
I ate some spaghetti in the middle of this, so I mean, I hear things when I'm sleeping, anyways.
Because he hasn't been sleeping.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh man.
So, is there any kind of non Sam Show things at Evo that people got up to that were interesting or of note?
I got a free chair, so we now have the gamer chair that everybody was using on stage at Evo. It's
nice.
ThrustyZol sitting in it right now.
Yep.
Thanks to Healing Vision, or actually, did Healing Vision bring it? He did, right?
He did.
Yep. Thanks to Healing Vision for bringing it in his car.
Yep.
Quite a steal.
Yeah. They didn't want to pack it away. They're like,
They said they didn't want to break them down, so they said, anybody want them? And I'm like, I want one. So that was fun.
Next time we will bring a whole truck there for those situations.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool to have the California homie that could drive. So shout outs to Healing Vision for chauffeuring me through Vegas, so to speak.
Yeah, it's nice. Right.
Dang, you know how much you could charge him now for Uber fees?
Wait, Healing Vision, are you still there? Oh my god, he vanished.
Yeah, he fell asleep.
He no-showed my... Wow. He hopped off a podcast.
Wait, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh
Yeah,
my god, I've been
Yeah, we hear you now.
Oh my gosh, I've been muted this whole time. I've been trying to jump in, but like everybody keeps ignoring me, so now I know. Okay, all right. Let me just jump in real quick and say like 2 or 3 things. So thing number 1, the controller issues actually in a weird way helped me because my controller was so messed up. I was too angry to be nervous throughout most of my matches. I was like legitimately upset with how bad my controller was messing up. So that helped me in a weird way.
Man,
and thing number
literally
2,
too angry to lose. What?
yes, that was me. I was on a mission. And thing number 2, Maki, thank you. That was very sweet of you to have a contingency plan on me. I actually appreciate that.
Anytime.
Yes. And but yeah, no, actually, well, you Scrub, you saw driving around Vegas is insane. If it's not the people driving like stupid, the other thing is that the roads themselves are very weird and windy, and you can get stuck places very easily. So it was quite the adventure. But we got some good curry, so it was worth it.
Yeah. Definitely beats walking around that padway all weekend, which is basically what I did last year. Kind of nice to actually see the city.
Yeah. So that was fun though.
Definitely the tech is get your food from Target and smuggle it into the venue.
Yeah, no, that came in clutch.
It really did. I spent an absurd amount on food last year, and I saved a lot this year, so that's pretty sick.
Yeah, and those people really did not care about bringing food in like we thought they would, so...
Yeah, security was pretty lax. I don't know how I feel about that, because the point is to be secure.
Comparatively lax is more so they seem like they really didn't care about like food and drinks and stuff, but they did more like typical convention security of like looking for weapons and whatever. I guess they didn't really care about anything else, which compared to previous years gives a bit of whiplash when you couldn't even get like hot water. So that's cool, I guess.
Well, you know, it was kind of annoying at Combo Breaker, I'm not gonna lie. So like there was quite a bit of security checks.
Yeah, it was pretty obnoxious at Combo Breaker.
So there's got to be a happy medium, you know?
Yeah, they were strict about a lot of things.
Every time you walked anywhere, it felt like. Oh well.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, I feel like security was really strict on the first day, and then they realized that there's no way they were going to get people in time unless they got laxer about it. So that's kind of when security was like, okay, just walk through with your bag, and if it doesn't set the thingy off, then you're okay.
Well, and it basically, as we said, it's more of a convention almost at this point, and there was like 10,000 people, so, you know, they tried their best, but, you know, it was just overwhelming.
They don't have the time to check and confiscate food from you. They just need to check for the important things.
Yep.
Do you have bad things on you? No, get in here.
Dude, and the thing is that like you kind of had to sneak in some like drinks because those drinks at the concessions inside were like a bottle of iced tea was $10. So, you know.
Holy frick.
That sucked.
Yeah, it was like satirical. Like a joke.
I didn't even try the concession stand this year, so I guess I didn't miss out on anything.
No, you did not.
What'd you drink, B-Boy, then? Like, did you bring your own water? Or did you just...
Oh, I remember now. The first day, I had the Evo water bottle. It was full of water ahead of time. And I had went to Press Juicery at the Aria and got my smoothies. That was my game plan for Sam Show, is to get decent sleep and start the morning with a smoothie and oatmeal. That whole exact thing was my plan. So that was why I had those smoothies with me throughout the first day. But then after that, I lost my Evo water bottle, and I was too lazy to go for another one. So the following days, I don't even know what I drank the following days, to be honest. Did I have like Starbucks in the morning? Maybe my friends brought Starbucks. I forgot. But yeah, the following days I didn't even have a water bottle or anything.
I was assuming that you had used the machines to keep watering, refilling. I definitely did that myself. I did nothing but that, but then I had a lot of I had like Propel or IV electrolyte drinks, basically. So I had the powders, and I kept basically sticking them in my waters, and I stayed hydrated the whole time. That's what I did with that Evo water bottle, which was very handy.
Yeah, next time if I lose the water bottle, I'll just go and ask for another one.
Yeah, I think it was hefty. It holds a good amount of water, so
Yeah, it was nice. They gave those all out for free.
Yep.
At any rate, so is there any kind of other topics people want to cover, like current events? I think we kind of memed on Netflix a bit, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then
well, y'all can post some videos, give your review or whatever at some point.
they're gonna have a Netflix tournament for the walls.
Before we venture too far off of Evo, I did want to say one thing that I thought was kind of interesting. That we truly are a tight knit community, and I think it's kind of interesting that I was thinking about it. I've seen all y'all more often than I've seen some of my good friends who live 2 miles from me, and it's kind of a weird thought, but I don't know. It's interesting because we obviously had came together for the purpose of the tournament and whatnot, but it's kind of nice to think that even if it wasn't necessarily starting off like that, we have become so tight knit that we are I guess I don't know, nice little friend group type of thing. So it was a very nice thing to be able to see everybody again, So I appreciated that.
Same here. I really do. I feel very close to everybody. Even if we don't see each other, we do speak to each other quite often. Whether it be in game, just in spirit like that, just to see names, and knowing to put the face to the voice.
You guys are all cool.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like this year has been pretty transformative. Like even a year ago, I feel like most of us knew each other, but in less of a personal capacity. And through this whole year, it's like we've become a bit of a family, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a little corny, but
well, I literally met you all a year ago exactly, because I met you all at Evo. I was, just some guy,
I met everybody at Evo last year too, because it was my first event I'd ever been to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but yeah, we played with Scrub and Maki and B-Boy for a little bit.
Yeah,
but we just never met.
Hit different when. Well, that's part of why this event hit different for me even more. Is it's really something when you finally see these people in person and you get to play this game that you like in a better environment in person.
Yeah,
with cool community. Because the majority, unfortunately, the majority of my Sam Show experience and time with the community and the game has been through online. There was a bit of the start of it before COVID, but my experience competitively was more so in the late WNF era, Parsec shenanigans, and then transitioning into Xbox era, and over time I've gotten to see more and more of you in person. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it would have been really cool if you also came to Frosty it was a little bit more intimate. Like I said, like we did even Smile was there, and Royal Cycle was there, and we had like this pizza get together, and it just felt really, really nice to sit down and eat with you guys and stuff.
Yeah, you're forced to definitely be close to each other at Frosty, like big time, because the way
we had our own area. Like we kind of felt special. I mean, so did SNK too, but.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Because Frosty, Combo Breaker, and Lunar Bout are all events that I really do want to go to. Well, Frosty, every time I want to go, I get like, well, one, it's hard to plan ahead for, and two, I get scared out of doing it because it's in winter in Illinois, and I'm not built for the cold at all.
None of us Cali people are.
Yeah. Frosty has my curiosity, but it also has me the most scared.
I walked across the street to our hotel every time I would go back and forth, back and forth. I only used the shuttle like twice.
Kelly loves to walk.
I do. I run a lot. So it was nice to get that walk. The only problem is that you get really hot when you get inside because then the heat's on.
And you're bundled up and then you take all the layers off once you get inside. So, yeah, you carry a lot of weight.
Disorienting.
Yeah. But the shuttles take you. They do take you. And they're always usually going. And
but actually, if you stay at the venue, you wouldn't even have to leave it.
Well, that was the other issue that came up was, again, it's the planning that if I do, I'd have to be super duper in advance. Because if I have to stay anywhere besides the venue, that creates a whole other set of problems I wouldn't want to have to deal with.
Yeah.
So
they're definitely close. They're close though. The hotels are really close, and the buses drop you off. The mall is directly across the street from the venue, so you really, it's not bad, you know. So I liked it too. I felt like it was pretty cool in general, and I would say that this Evo definitely felt a lot better. To me in general, because I have a lot of problems with the venue in general from my history going to Vegas. I went to Vegas a lot, and kind of these things hit me kind of hard last year, and this year I was more prepared for you kind of like flashbacks pretty much. That happened to me. It just happened to be like, long story short, I was kicked out of that hotel during UFC days. That same venue, the same Michelob Ultra. So
He was a kid, right? Or teen?
No, during the UFC days.
20 years?
During, I was like 21.
Yeah. That's
I guess a young adult. I mean, yeah. I found out how fast it was to get home from Vegas when you get kicked out. No, other than that, like I said, like I felt like I got to enjoy Frosty. I'm sorry, Evo, and then the way that the later on too, when we whoever was able to come up to the suite, it was cool. Because it was a lot later, but I felt like because I did do a stream, and it is on YouTube of us up there, and I will say it was pretty funny playing Tau until like 3 a.m. in the morning, Samurai Shodown 4. And it was interesting.
Wait, what? How did you play Sam Show 4?
I had it on the series. On the series.
We have all of them on the Xbox, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
How did Sam stay up till 4 a.m.? What the fuck?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah. He was
drinking out of his flask.
I was drinking
Yeah, he
all
does that.
the beers.
Y'all were in party mode.
Oh yeah.
Sorry
was
I
up
didn't
there?
come, by the way. My energy was gone.
Oh no, it's expected. That's why I said, it's so late. We did all that stuff.
I tapped out at 12:30, so
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, you were up there pretty late. I think that
Yeah.
Freakaholic was up there too.
Sorrow ended up coming by at some point, I think. And then he left and he was supposed to come back and then he never came back.
Yeah.
And then Neo Penny ended up coming in. And
Oh yeah, Neo Penny
Maki
came up.
made it to this one.
Yeah.
Tom was there.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that came up, and we had a good time up there.
We had a nice view actually of the stadium if you like that kind of thing. Lights.
Yeah. What was that? Were you there, Scrub, when Tonfa and Tonfa and Tao were just jumping with Cham Cham? That was like the whole thing. They just
They were actually jumping.
Well, I mean, they picked her and they were just set for like 2 rounds, just hitting up and going jump 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 jump
Oh, yeah.
jump
No,
jump.
I forgot why we did that. and then we had the little
Definitely
Cham
won't
Cham
people.
picture.
Oh, it was pretty loud and it was just silly, and I don't know why, but I mean, after I guess the bruise and just watching Cham Cham jump and just hearing that over and over, it was pretty funny.
There was a reason for it, but I don't remember the reason at this point.
There was no reason. There was just let's pick
Wasn't
Cham
because
Cham
of
and jump.
Scrubs.
let's just say it made sense at the time.
Postcard.
Yeah.
It made sense at the time.
That was really funny. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, and actually I got to walk around the venue even after ideally I was hoping to not really help with Garu, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, please just let me do Sam show. Then we were requested and I wanted to make a good impression, for officially working for SNK. I wanted them to say, hey, okay, do you want to say this?
Finish what you were gonna say, and then we'll go into it.
Okay,
Did
I
you good of a
wanted.
job, they needed you to come back for Garo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of actually. We didn't know we were supposed to come back on Saturday at all. We were just.
We're like,
surprised.
yes, we're done. Can't wait to set up the BYOC, and then they're like, so you guys show up at the same time, and I was like,
We're like, wait for Garo tomorrow? Yeah. Okay. Sure.
yeah. And
It was fine. It was
fine.
It was a quick. They didn't have as many.
Yeah,
So
a lot of DQs.
Yeah, there was. Oh my goodness,
lot.
I think my first pool in its entirety was DQ'd, other than 2 or 3 players.
That was the easy side for you. It's like, he just called all your names and you didn't have anybody. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I think my second one was like that, but it all worked itself out.
Well, I found out that some of the people thought it was an online tournament.
Yes.
in one of the countries, I think.
They announced it so
Maybe
late.
it was Argentina, I think.
Yeah, they announced it so late that some of the top Garu players actually signed up for it, thinking it was an online tournament.
Yeah.
They're like, they didn't see on there anything. They're like, well, during Evo at a booth, okay, or online, they thought it was that, and yeah. So that's because they didn't announce it. Dang, we always had a feeling, you guys, that it was going to be announced, obviously, because they pulled us to the side, me and Kelly. Am I supposed to be able to say this? Huh?
Whatever you're about to share, are you positive you're allowed to share it?
Well, there is one thing that we would like to share.
Yeah.
After the events, we both were getting messages galore, and apparently, somebody who who works at SNK, who came all the way from Japan, who's basically in charge of the esports. He was dying to meet us. Like he asked if we could come back to meet him, and that felt really,
good,
really good.
Yeah.
And he really, 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 really appreciates everything that we do for Samurai Shodown. He is grateful that we're always holding these tournaments, and and that falls on you guys who always do the tournaments. So they said that they really, really, really want to offer our tournaments
prizing at all. So, well, here's the thing: our tournaments, when we hold them, when they say officially,
forward,
when they announce them, officially supported by SNK, everybody, not everybody, but they will be giving merchandise.
Our online tournaments will now be offered
always. Yes,
from SNK,
instead of just like one big one. Like how like it was. I think the Vortex Gallery one was offered the. Yes. You got the shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Scrub.
Oh yeah, the King of Fighters shirt like that.
Yeah. So they actually told us that every tournament we throw now, they are going to give prizing. So like they're gonna want the winner's address.
Yeah. So one thing that they basically mentioned was that they felt really, really bad that they could never offer us prizes for our tournaments, and they really, really wanted to do something for us. So
that's their thing. They said
it was really cool, and they like I said, like I got so many messages from all these people, and for some reason, I guess my phone was off during that time. I think we were at the BOIOC area, and it was like
I was already wandering around. Also, too.
So, like, I didn't get any of the messages. They messaged me on Twitter. They messaged me on Discord. They had like 4 different people message me, and I was like, "How did I not see any of these?" And then Zol came over, and he's like, "Hey, I just talked to so and so, and they
they stopped me, like all the like the heads up of the booth basically talked to me for quite some time, and that's when they told me, the guy, he can speak, the greatest of English. So there's somebody else kind of speaking for him. And basically, that's when they said that. They said, we're going to be prizing out your tournaments.
Yeah, so the reason why it felt so special is because, like, we sit here and we do these tournaments and we feel like SNK doesn't even know who we are, Like, we're just another one of these people that just holds tournaments. And it's like, that wasn't true. They actually literally know who we are. And for them to ask to meet us, I was like, wow, really? Like they know who we are? and like he did know who we were. He was like, I know both of you. Like, thank you. And so it felt really good.
They are locked in.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Nice.
I mean, that's a pretty amazing accomplishment. That's like something almost nobody's ever done before, and I think it's kind of hard for SNK to take notice of us, especially since, like, a lot of us try really hard to get SNK involved, and it's kind of been like it's very difficult to break through that barrier. But you guys accomplished that with all your work, so I think everybody really appreciates that.
Definitely.
I also have I was telling Scrub, because it was only us two in here at first, that Television, I just came from, the Delamo Mall, with my nieces are in town and stuff, my brother, and
this doesn't really have to do with Evo, it's more just Sam Show.
Yeah. I mean, I figure this is a place to say.
Yeah. I'm just noting it.
Yeah. So there's a place in the Delama Mall that has like they have D&D, and like they have all these anime things and board games, right? And I walked in there, and then I looked at the board, and it's like Smash will be played here on Tuesday, and I'm like, wait, hold up. And then I asked the guy, I said, hey, could like you guys hold esports stuff in here? I mean, like you did tournaments and you do tournaments. And he said, yeah, yeah. If you want to bring your stuff and you want to host a tournament, you can do that. And I was like, about just kind of just no, I got super happy. I was like, holy crap. And then he started talking about Evo, and I was like, I just did Evo. I said I just came from Evo, and working for SNK basically, and running the Sam Show tournament. So he was more happy to talk to me, And then he said, "Yeah, bring your stuff." So we could technically hold a local there. By the way,
well, I'd be down.
Yeah, I mean you're here all the time in this area, so yeah.
Just bring the stick.
Yeah,
I hope it works.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
You're in good hands.
Yeah. So that's something that we can remember. We were talking about that. I think it was Disorder Unit who's he's in LA. So yeah.
Yeah, and also Passionate, and a couple of them wanted to try.
Yeah, a couple of guys that live in Orange County. So yeah.
Well,
so some of the Ke11y guys.
I was going to say, the nice thing about an offline is that if we have the converters, we don't have to worry about them owning an Xbox at their house to actually play with, these people. So it'll be, convenient.
Yeah, exactly. That's, yeah. So I think that's going to work out a certain way. I also wanted to say that probably, Sam Show related also, I didn't realize that every time it's 7 a.m. here, it's 11 p.m. In Japan, and that's when those guys start the lobbies. So,
and the connections actually are pretty decent.
Yeah, I've been playing with them.
A lot of them.
I've been playing.
Some of them have really good connections. There's maybe one person that doesn't have that great, but
yeah, but it works. You guys know how it works. Us being here on the West Coast, and then if I'm being the server or whatnot, and then you jump in there and then you play Japan, it's pretty much flawless. But they do have some guys who do have some crappy internet, and they actually do kick them out. So they did that. I did it already for 2-3 weeks in a row, or 2 weeks in a row. I woke up at 7 a.m. Here, and then it was 7 on Saturday, because I know we do our casual Friday, and then I woke up at 7, and I started playing with them. So I don't know if you guys want in on that, but that's I think we're slowly going to get to that point where also when rollback comes out. But like I said, the connections were good anyways. So, and even Royal Psycho he jumped in there too, and he was like, "Wow, I can't believe that we're playing Japan." And I was like, "Yeah," and then yeah, so it was good. And like I said, the guys who are serious, obviously they have good connections, and they're not playing on Wi-Fi, but they do have some guys who are Wi-Fi, and then I could hear them. They talk to them, and Japanese, and they kick them out pretty much. Not in a rude way. I could hear them saying, we're trying to play, blah, blah. And then some of them also speak English pretty good. So I realized that when I jumped into the chat, they were talking English, and I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool. Kind of we can finally get that, NA versus Japan going. or their team eventually. So that's some cool news. And if anything, I'm thinking of like turning that into another stream of some sort. And I'm always like, so here's the thing, you guys, like I've always, like, for Casual Fight Friday, I've always wanted just to do that. And then at one point it became that we needed to do a Wednesday because of Friday just wasn't working out for everybody. And I like setting schedules.
Wednesday started because of when the Xbox Series came out. Only 2 people had it, and nobody knew that
there was a difference.
They weren't going to be compatible with each other, including me, who still hadn't had a series yet. So, in order to keep it going on both platforms, Wednesday became the series day.
Yeah.
And Friday continued to be the Xbox One day. And Xbox One carried on until I got sick of feeling like I was underwater.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm just going to play on the series. Because basically everybody at that point, or most of the people, had
already jumped over.
The series.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people on Xbox One jumped over to the series very quickly. They were like, oh, it's that good? Okay. Like, there was like no questions. There was no, it's really probably not that good. Like, they didn't like question anything. They were like, oh, it's that good? Okay. So they all got it, and they were like, wow, it is good.
There, you know what? Also, you guys, there is a lot of other people that do have the game. They're just not competitive. They're not competitive. I do play with them every once in a while. They kind of message me on the side and say, hey man, can you play?
In the other Discord, I get pinged constantly for every other role, but I strictly use my PS4 Sam Show for locals. I don't even know if I still have Steam Sam Show installed. It was taking up too much space, and I'm waiting for rollback to come back. I probably will never need the Epic Game Store version again, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to need that. Steam's did an overhaul of sales, so when that hits... on that note, I also wanted to say I've never tried to ever create a monopoly. Like, I have the thing on every console, every platform, except, Stadia, because it's not around anymore. But in general, I don't intend to want to create a monopoly and be like, hey, I'm going to run tournaments here. I'm going to do it here. And I have to pull it all together and be like, I'm the guy running it. I could care less. Like me, I'm really just, Friday, I wanted to always show people how good the game was, and I've been doing it since release on the normal Xbox. Never once did I ever try to jump onto any other platform. I did do it on the Switch on Sundays because of the Switch actually had the best one when it came out. Because until Baiken and Amaxa came out, then the game became very slow because of it just doesn't have the power. But it was actually the most stable version of Sam Show on delay-based netcode.
That was wild to hear.
Oh, it still has more options to this day than what we have on these versions. It has a password lock where you can actually create a room, and then you enter that password, and you'll jump into that room.
Frick, do the other versions not?
Okay, isn't that cool?
Stop asking.
Well, are you talking about for the Switch? Because the Switch was made by a different company.
So they specifically entirely?
Well, the game was made by SNK, but it was distributed by another company that.
Well, the port was done by Safari Games.
Safari. So basically, they dumbed down the graphics extensively. They look muted when you look at it. And then there's like little things like, you know, I don't know if it's reflections or
there's like a lot of missing shadows.
Yeah, there's like missing things. So they degraded the quality for better performance.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, when it's in its cradle, it does work really good. So that, because, you know, there's a difference between being in the cradle and, you know, being out of it. But when it's in the cradle, it does work really good. And I've always taken it serious. So I got the network adapter thing that, you know, the USB turns it into that. And then now and then most of the people that were playing, they did that too. So like I said, it worked really good until the last season, because of it just became too taxing on it. So, and obvious reasons. The weird thing is, I feel like they should just dumb down it a little bit more, because Melty on the Switch has rollback. So I just don't know why they don't. I mean, I guess they don't want it to look that much different, you know, because a little polygon everybody. Yeah, I'm sure they have their reasons. It's like a whole redesign, so I don't know. And Safari, I don't think Safari is going to want to redo.
That's what I mean.
That's
like if it was by a different company, then that means that they would have to probably be involved, and there could be like things about that. So,
and that's the whole thing that I'm saying is, on this note, like, I'm trying to myself take a break from streaming all the time. I enjoy it. I definitely do. I like doing things, because like I like the production level. I like to do that, but and like, obviously, you know, like, you know, B-Boy and Scrub, you know, you guys have been doing the lobbies regardless of, like, there's, as long as somebody's always doing the lobby, that's what I always ask for everybody to do. Like Wednesday, if nobody does the lobby, hey, nobody's around, somebody kick up the lobby. And actually, I want to give everybody the logo, if you want to use it on the if you use it on your stream card or whatnot, you know. So I'll send it out there, you know, so that you guys can, or if you wanted to announce it and just say, hey, I'll be doing the lobby, and yeah, it's all good. And never, like I said, never take it like I'll be like, oh gosh.
Oops,
you know, obviously when we talk and I say like, yeah, why don't you guys start the lobby? You know, it's the same thing. Regardless of anything, I'll jump into it. It's really just us getting together and keeping it. It's like us just keeping the game alive. And that was the whole plan that I always planned from the whole start. Anyways, so I wanted it, you know.
At this point, Wednesdays are my like grind games for the games I actually care about. So right now that'd be Melt or French Bread Games, Sam Show, and Street Fighter 6. So usually around like that 6 o'clock time, I'll want to, actually a bit before, I'll be wanting to do a bit of labbing and then see if a lobby's happening for Sam Show. If it's not, that's fine. Yeah, I'm down to make one. So yeah.
Like I said, that's all I have always, like, I'm not here to create any monopoly. I'm just here to, you know, make sure that we keep playing the game, really.
Yeah, no, you're all good, man. I appreciate what you do too.
Everyone really appreciates you and all the work you guys have put in.
Oh, thanks.
You really carried us to the next level, I think, this year.
Helped establish consistency, especially.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to have something to always fall back on, instead of like having it be a question mark, like, will the game be supported? Right?
Yeah.
I look forward to.
Yeah. Oh, I know that we have to go soon, right?
Yeah.
So
we don't have to say it in podcast either. Just
I want,
unless it belongs in podcast.
Okay. I did want to ask one thing.
Okay.
Is I did want to establish. So before you guys were actually playing when we started throwing this many tournaments. We did one time. We did a thing where it was. I called it, me being cheesy, I called it the Ultimate Samurai Shodown, and it was a team of a captain. There were two captains, which was Mr. Pock and ACL, who is another player from Mexico who he no longer plays because he has bad internet right now. But he's really good. He's a good woo, actually. Boy.
But basically, I think he wants to try again and try to set something up like that again.
Yeah.
So basically, what that one was is we had two captains, and it was basically Team Red versus Team Blue, or whatever we called it. I was actually on Team Mr. Pock's team because I was a new player at the time, and
everybody was a new player.
We were all new players,
and
so basically, it was their way of teaching new players
how to play the game.
So our coach basically helped us,
and we did the team game. The one where you only have one round. So it was very interesting, and you had to win 5 games basically to win.
Team battles.
Yeah, and we did that. So it was funny because we had Kelly, and she was on Mr. Pox, and then we had Didi Mokoff's girlfriend.
Yeah.
At the time on ACL's team.
She played Basara.
Yeah, she was a Basara player. So I'm thinking of doing something like that again, where it's the team captains. I guess the best way to do it is the team captains would be somebody who has won the tournament. Well, somebody who's won the tournament.
So who rang? Somebody rang.
Yeah. You pick your team.
Only if you have a trophy.
Your team and the team would be it's like a way to endorse new people into it too. You'd pick players that were not they're not veterans. At the time, like I said, Kelly wasn't even. She barely played the game.
Oh my goodness! If you watch that tournament.
Now it's oh my god, yeah. She's I actually have it. I think it's on YouTube. I have it.
It is.
Yeah. If you guys want to look at it, it's interesting.
My teammate left me.
It was
no.
He was.
But
we had a replacement.
He had a family thing to go to suddenly.
Yeah.
He actually was at Evo. He's a good friend.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
I think what I might need to try to do is to get some of my SinCal homies to my place, so that way they can play all on my Xbox. Because I think there's a handful of people in our scene that have Xboxes, but only some of us have Sam Show. So I think that kind of like what Sorrow did.
Hybrid Fusion.
What you guys are doing? Yeah, exactly.
It's the Hybrid Fusion. I would love for you to do that.
Here, that'd be cool to do.
Yeah, we were supposed to do a London version too, but things got a little sidetracked and hectic, and
that's when we did that random Street Fighter one.
Yeah, we did a version.
I don't know
with
how it
Fighter.
escalated to
that. You guys had fun doing that, though. I don't know why, but you did.
That was pretty fun. That was a fun little
yeah
version.
They were talking so much smack to me the night before. It was funny. I was like, "What are you guys
gotta
talking
mix
about?
things up every once in a while."
Yeah,
honestly. Oh, Bubba. Honestly, I have this really cool idea, but I'm afraid to put it out there because I know that players like to not get confused with other characters, and want to stick to their, mains or whatnot. But I've been dying to have Maki play with Biken and Scrub play with Jubei and do a fight to 10 or something that.
Backwards?
So you got a taste of my own medicine.
Yes, I want to see what happens, and I'm dying to see it. But like I said, I also the other day wanted to do a team, just like instead of our lobby, if we don't have like a full lobby and we have like 4 people in there, I think it'd be fun to just change it up and do like a team battle.
Yeah.
Once in a while. Because
the actual team mode. Because the team mode.
Sometimes I want a little more games in.
It's really funny.
You know, we really should use those other modes just for.
I honestly forget about those other modes.
Oh man, they're pretty fun.
It's cool because we do our consistency thing, which is great, and I think it's super helpful. But yeah, so mixing it up a bit.
I think if we do that, we'll have a lot more of the guys who are there, but they're just afraid to join.
I really want Dark Dios to get more into this game because he's very good, and
I feel like he can develop.
He can develop.
I don't think Deku wants to get into it. Like he's like, he's just scared. I guess it's intimidating. You guys are winning. Things like Evo.
It's funny you mentioned that because one of my friends who I knew through work actually went to Evo, and he doesn't play Sam Show, but he watched me and everybody play, and so he ended up buying it. So he kind of wants to get in, but he knows he's not very experienced, so he kind of is intimidated when I keep telling him we can just have some fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the casual lobbies are for, don't, And even at that, because I know that some people are ashamed to, get beat, I guess, on stream. And it's just like, well, just ask for games.
I have no shame.
Yeah. Some people, we know you don't. But some people, they're like, I forgot who it was. They were in the lobby, and the minute that Grub, one time you jumped in, he's like, heck no. I'm like, where you going? He goes, I'm not staying in this lobby. I'm like, what?
Understandable.
I'm like, okay, all right. Okay, so, but it takes, I get it. Some people just don't, they take it a little, it's not that they take it seriously. Maybe they just feel like, because, when you don't know what the other person is thinking on the receiving end, I mean, I feel like it's almost like they don't want to.
No, we don't have to talk about
it. It can be intimidating. It can be a pride thing. When I say it's understandable, I'm half joking because it's scrub. But you have to be able to gauge. It's something like I've learned as a TO and as a player. You have to be able to gauge how someone gets their fun when it comes to fighting games, and if their goal isn't to grind and improve, they don't really have anything to gain sitting there in a lobby with this dude playing bike and steamrolling you. Why is he gonna want to sit in that lobby, right?
We look forward to rounds. I look forward to every round I take. I look forward to that. Every SSM I get. Every time Jubei does his little Scooby-Doo pawpaw and misses, and I get that SSM, if that's the move that it was. I feel like that's the move it's called. That's progress for me. Like it
varies from person to person. Everyone has their fun in different ways. In fact, I learned that the hard way, even locally, when I would try to teach people things. And of course, the memes of helping teaching people don't blow your burst immediately. Some people actually didn't like being taught that because they actually don't care. They're just there, just
and that
chill.
person is Maki.
And then you have people like Maki that genuinely don't care, and he raises my blood pressure. But it's just something you have to be able to gauge with people. And it goes both ways. You can let people know, hey, you don't have to worry about people judging you. If you want to learn, try play with people. You have to play with people. Well, technically, it's ideally to play people on your own level, so that way you actually do have a chance to learn in a more efficient way.
Yeah.
But at least try to play people. But if you're there to just blissfully mash and have a good time, these people probably will prevent you having a good time.
No, I love it.
So it depends. I understand in that aspect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I genuinely, anytime I get my reverse, if I get a reverse throw to the one slash to the weapon flip, I start screaming out loud and I put my hands up in the air. I get so excited.
She is.
Anytime I get my combos like that, it's so exciting for me.
And I lose my weapon, I gotta fight for my freaking life.
I guess I just get more happy when I do things right, rather than me worrying about this person beat me again. This person beat me again.
The little things.
Mentality, though. That's it's a good mentality.
She's really happy. I hear her in that living room screaming down the hallway, and
I'm like, I did it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, she weapon flipped somebody.
That's good.
Okay.
I hate to interrupt, but I unfortunately got to get going now because I wasn't expecting quite to take so long with the podcast tonight. But yeah, but it was definitely nice to chat with all of you.
Yeah,
I think it's a good time to wrap things up a bit. I think we covered a lot. Mm-hmm. So the outro is biking is fair and balanced and blessed. And I am not carried at all.
And we will all pick her to change the meta.
Yeah. Just wanted to get that off my chest. Thanks everybody for joining. It was a really fun day. You guys are the fam. It was good to see you all. I hope to see you in the future. Come register for Lunar Bout because I will be there. Even if you don't have the money, just do
Show
it
up.
and just get there.
Just
walk.
do it.
The cards will fall in place.
Hell directly, he'll accept cash.
Yeah.
We're in Cali.
Anyways, thanks guys. Thanks all of you for joining. Thanks to all our viewers.
Play Sam Show.
Play Sam Show. Do it.
Samuel Shodown.
Rollback is coming.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night. Goodbye.